Hello, Somerset County Business Partnership members. Welcome to the inaugural episodes of the Scoop podcast. My name is Chris Edwards, president of the Chamber, and I will be your host alongside our marketing coordinator, Kira Morgan. We are joined this morning by someone who needs no introduction here at the partnership, Monica Martinez Milan. But I'll provide a little bit of an introduction. Monica wears a number of different hats here. She's probably ranking up top in terms of number of events attended over the last year or two. She's one of our MVP members. She is the owner of Stumpy's Hatchet House in Green Brook and also the chairwoman of the board for this year. I almost lost track of what year we're in, 2024, and also for 2025. Morning, Monica. How are you?
Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here. How are you guys?
Good.
Fantastic. So we're excited. No better person to have for one of our inaugural episodes than Monica. I think most of our members have met you at events, but we wanted to use this this new forum we have as an opportunity for members to get to know you a little bit more, know a little bit more about your business. So just from the start, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you kind of came into the business world here in Somerset County.
Yes. So I was born and raised in Newark and Kearney, New Jersey. My parents are immigrants, came over here from Spain, and they came here to live the American dream. And I was raised working in their business in Newark for the most part, because we didn't have a lot of babysitters at the time. So I was always around a lot of people. I learned how to support the community by watching their grassroots work that they did. And eventually I met my husband and we moved out into the country and purchased a house here in Somerset County, and then proceeded to buy a business and become immersed as a resident of the community here.
I always love how, depending how close to New York City you live, that's your view of, are we in the country here? Are we in the suburbs? So coming from a little bit further to New York, this was the country, right?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I grew up listening to sirens and a lot of traffic noise. That was how I would fall asleep at night. And then when I moved out here, the crickets, the cicadas, all of that sound, I was afraid at first.
You didn't have the white noise to
I didn't have that
drown
white
it
noise.
out.
And every day when I drive home and pull into the house, I'm so grateful for where I live, what we have, what we've accomplished, and I never lose sight of how do I help others get there. And there are people that are way ahead of me, but I'm grateful for everything that I have, including our humble beginnings, which is what led me to be here today.
So you move out to Somerset County. What was the moments that kind of led up to you and Mark deciding, hey, we want to take a chance and become small business owners and entrepreneurs? What kind of led to that decision for you?
Yeah. So I always had that vision, and so did Mark. We're like entrepreneurs and dreamers at heart. Both of us worked in corporate for many years, and we loved that. I loved what I did. But I ended up moving out to the country. I ended up getting bitten by a tick, or several, and I didn't know what that was. I wasn't educated in that. And both of us actually were very sick for some time and went through a few years of treatment to recover from not knowing, that we had that. And I had to leave my corporate job to get better. And this opportunity presented itself by the grace of God. It was like God, a friend called my husband and said, what do you think of axe throwing? And he looked at me and asked me, hey, babe, there's this thing. It's called axe throwing. What do you think of it? And at first I looked at him and said, no, like, how would we ever make a living with that? And he's like, you know what, let's go look at another venue that had opened up and see if you like it. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. And we did that and discovered that I noticed that everybody that walked in there was happy. The team, people were happy. And that's something that I feel like we miss a lot here in our daily lives with work, stress, anxiety. And after being so sick, I decided, let's do it. Like, God gave us a second chance. And you only live once. And you're better off trying something and failing than never trying and not knowing if you were going to fail or succeed.
Did you go to school to have any of these like business entrepreneurial traits, or
No.
was it something
Well,
you just learned along the way?
I did graduate. I was first generation graduate of college. So I did graduate. I learned a lot from my parents. My parents, my mom's aunts that owned businesses in Newark, everything I learned was from them. I used to go with them into the city and buy merchandise for their business. I saw them negotiate. Back then, when we didn't have Amazon or any type of delivery service, we would do it. And I learned everything from them. I learned how to sell to the clients. I learned how to speak Portuguese. That Spanish was my first language. Most of their customers were Portuguese or Spanish. So I learned another language. I mean, I learned from them. And I think it's something that's, and with my husband too. My husband's very entrepreneurial. He's a numbers guy, so he teaches me a lot in that aspect. But I think everything's like heart centered as well. Like it's in me. It's something that I was born with.
Yeah, I think there's always that. A lot of the businesses we've met here at the partnership over the years are people maybe who came from the corporate world and started their own business. A lot of times the schooling that they got was not anywhere near the business industry they wanted to go into. And it's very hard in school to kind of capture that entrepreneurial spirit. And I think that's something that is incredibly rare to find in businesses to take that chance, right? I mean, you're putting everything on the line. And I think that's one of the questions we've talked about this a little bit that I'd love to ask you is, you're the sandwich generation, right? You're taking care of parents, you're taking care of kids, you have all these responsibilities. You have the responsibilities of being a business owner and managing employees and all the liability that comes with hatchet throwing. How do you manage all that plus be active in the business partnership, the Hispanic Chamber? Can you give a little tips and secrets of how you put your day-to-day together?
Yeah. So luckily I have my husband is such a great supportive partner. So I do have that, the blessing of having a partner, and we love working together. We communicate a lot, whether it's good or bad. We address it. We care for each other, and he knows, and so do I. When we opened the business, community was always our focus. Like, well, we're gonna have an axe throwing place, and I asked God that. I'm very connected spiritually, and I said, how am I gonna open an axe throwing business? But I'm somebody that wants to help people. It kind of doesn't work. It didn't sound like it went well together. But the message that I received was you have to help people release that stress. And when they come in to our place, our team knows it too. We don't know if our guests lost a parent, they're going through a divorce, they just want to have fun. We let go of our issues for the time being when they come into our venue, and we help them have a good time and release that stress. But to go back to your question, there's just a fire inside that I know it will not burn out. I know it because I pray a lot, I meditate, and I know that there's always room. I make room for people. Sometimes I may not get back to someone quick, email, because I'm going from one place to the other, but we need more mentors. We need mentors. Women, speaking as a Hispanic first generation, I never had, my only mentors were my mom's friends, my aunts, cousins and that sort of thing. I didn't even know mentors existed. So we need mentors, we need community, we need to show up for each other. COVID taught us that the world changed, and we used to operate in different silos. After that, when a lot of businesses were shut down, we opened up our venue to allow for small businesses to set up shops inside our place because we knew people were struggling. So it's something that it's in there.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it's there.
Well, that fire can't burn out until after 2025. 'Cause
No, it won't. It won't. And as a business owner, even if you work for a company, we have to attend events. We have to network. We have to connect. People do business. We do a lot with AI, emails, sitting behind the emails, but we connect with each other like we are here in this room, and we're connecting with our audience. We have to make ourselves visible and present.
I think that's something that like my generation really needs to start to realize, because we're so used to being virtual, and we kind of grew up like we were going to school online, meeting people was online, and I think not a lot of people value networking like how it used to be. So I think that's definitely an important skill that people should have.
Yeah, we have an onboarding program here we do every other month of the partnership for new members. And one of the slides I always show is it takes the last 5 generations, right? So Gen Z going all the way back to baby boomers, and how every part of life has changed, right? What was the number one technology? What was a means of communication? But at the very bottom, there's the way people do business with each other. And for the most part, business is always still done face-to-face. It doesn't mean that the transaction was done face-to-face, but generally, if you're buying a home, starting a business, whoever you have to interact to do that, you're probably doing that in person at some point in there and building those relationships. So that's something we've always, really harped on here at the partnership, is that And I think things are kind of blowing back in that direction, where people go, the digital world, the digital marketing, I'm not getting bang for my buck that I need to see. Like, how do I go out and start building traditional relationships again? So I think, through your leadership, Monica, and kind of setting the tone, we're getting back to a lot of that stuff.
And look at the young professionals meeting. How many attendees? I think we had like 30.
Almost
or more.
40, yeah.
40.
Yeah, just about. So that was a great turnout, and we got a great response from it. I mean, the one thing that, like, I've always grown up being told from, like, my dad was, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I feel like that really is true, especially when you see these types of events taking place.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, I think my grandfather always said, you're always networking.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, you're always
Yes.
networking.
Yeah.
So we have one segment here to change it up a little bit before we wrap up. We haven't fully named it yet, but we have it's a little bit of a rapid fire. I think we were calling it 5 favorites.
Yeah.
But we'll see how these things go. You don't want to name it too soon. But just a little bit of rapid fire. We haven't given you these questions ahead of time, so it's just hear and react, and we'll see where these
It's
go.
the nervous laugh.
But do you wanna kick us off with the first one?
Sure. All right. So what's your favorite place to eat in Somerset County?
I have a few.
Stumpy's.
Well, yes, we will have a restaurant there. I love Cafe Azzurro, very close to my house. I love Bistro 73 in Bernardsville. I mean, there's so many. There's so many places. Verve, our neighbors over here in Somerville. How do we not include Verve there?
What's your favorite business partnership event? Maybe something that reoccurs each year that you like going to each year.
I love the women, our women
International Women's Day.
International Women's Day.
Yeah.
See, my brain's not firing up fully yet, but I just love that event. The energy in that room, and every year we outdo ourselves with.
I know there's already pressure on getting the next speaker for next year.
All right. So what's your favorite themed night at Stumpy's?
I love like the throw and glows that we have are so much fun. 80s, 90s, we dress up. Those are some good times that we have there.
When we were there for the 40 under 40, the karaoke.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We were talking about that. We're like, that would be a good
Jake
event.
Miola, karaoke. He's another, we're also a member of the New Jersey Pride Chamber.
Yep.
And Jake's, he serves on their board as well, and he does karaoke.
Yeah, we love that.
So why not have him performing at Stumpy's? And it's always a great time to
Yeah.
What is your least favorite theme night at Stumpy's? Maybe something that Mark put you up to or someone else on your team that you're just like, ugh.
What did we have? Well, we tried doing an Oktoberfest, and that we were all over the place with that one. That was, the least favorite nights, and I have to say, they're always learning lessons, right? We tried it, and it didn't work out. So I don't want to even say that it's a least favorite because I learned something from it.
Right,
I just
right.
know to tweak it or to do something different
Oh, yeah.
next time.
Oh, no, we have events like here at the partnership, too.
We love ugly sweater parties, like during the holidays. I love seeing all the pharmaceutical, like the corporate companies coming in and they're wearing ugly sweaters and just being silly and having fun. So I have to say that's one of my favorite ones, too.
What's your favorite vacation spot when you want to get out of Somerset County?
Well, I think a lot of people know I love going back to Spain because that's where I reconnect with our roots and my kids get to go there and my parents, it was their favorite place to go. It's still, their favorite
Do you
place.
still have family there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
At least half of my family.
That's definitely on my bucket list.
Spread out through anywhere in Spain. I have cousins or someone that, if you ever go there,
Yeah.
I'll give you some recommendations.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for joining us on one of our inaugural episodes of the Scoop podcast. I want to thank our sponsors for this program and the investment made in the Somerset Business Hub, which this is a part of. So I want to thank the County of Somerset for their support, Unity Bank, and Techie Geek for making all this possible. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll talk again soon on the Scoop podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like that was pretty good.
Hey, you did good. Yay.